Hey, DJ.
Play that funky music.
Oh, wow. Wow. Seeing that intro again after 6
Hello.
months. How does it feel to be back, Ari?
Oh my goodness. We're having technical issues, but it's so much fun. I'm excited.
Oh, so Ari is on a hotspot right now. There's been kind of an internet crisis at the moment, but we're making do because you know us. We're gonna power through regardless because that's what we do. But no, I don't know. It's been 6 months, Ari. How have you been and what have you been up to?
Well, um, my mental health has increased significantly. Um, did you hear David Lynch died?
I did. Yeah, I did. And how are you doing in light of that?
Oh goodness, a lot better. I told my psychiatrist 2 years ago that my life would change when David Lynch died, and it definitely has. I'm not 100% fixed. Like my
Mm,
life is not like magically like wave a wand better, like fairy godmother better,
mm.
but it's definitely like all all of the stuff that I had wrapped up in David Lynch is like kind of resolved.
That's good. Well, yeah, when I saw the news break, I was just like,
Mhm.
I immediately thought of you. I was like, oh my God. I was like, I hope Ari's gonna be okay in light of this. And it's kind of hard to believe that's been months ago now.
It was in January. It was during the
Wow.
LA fires.
Yeah. My goodness. It
How
doesn't
have
feel
you
like
been?
it's been. Oh, I've been good. I've been good. I've been Britt and I have been wedding planning. We've been getting our ducks in a row for that. Um, I've been doing a lot of school stuff. I've been doing some writing. My Godzilla show has been kind of taken off, so that's been good. Although I desperately miss our conversations, of course. So, yeah, when we just an FYI, everyone. I think what was it like 2 weeks ago, Ari? We were talking about this, like
Yeah,
resuming
because
for
of
an
George
episode.
Floyd.
Yeah. Well, we had this moment where we were like, it's getting very close to our 5 year anniversary from when we started the show, and at that juncture, we were like,
Hmm.
why don't we do a one off reunion episode? And you know me, I whipped out my pom poms and I was doing a cheer routine when, when you said that. So, no, I like it feels really good to be back. It's funny because I actually went and re-listened to our last episode from last season and I cried. I should not have listened
Oh
to it.
goodness. Oh,
Have you
it's
went
so
back?
sad though. I can't listen to the episode because I cry.
I know I made that mistake. I definitely made that mistake. But no, I think deep down I knew that we would do some sort of reunion. And I think I've mentioned that I'm pretty comfortable doing a reunion every now and then. We don't necessarily need to do a full season if we're like busy or if our schedules are chaotic. So um just getting a
Well, yeah,
chance
because
to
you have a lot going on this year.
this year especially, yes. So but yeah, every now and then if we reconvene and do an episode, I am cool with that. So um but yeah, like it just feels fitting. 5 years after the, atrocity that happened to George Floyd. We will be talking about that later in the episode. Um we just felt it fitting to do some sort of reunion. I see Larity is making his classic cameo.
Absolutely.
So How about we do the show mission statement to get things started before we jump into the current event snapshot?
I am all for that. Let's do it.
Let's do it. We live in a dynamic society where social media shapes us by creating greater opportunities for connection. It has led to a developing understanding of the adversity many marginalized communities face, the powers causing the adversity, and those who act as bystanders as atrocities take place in real time. Our goal with this show is to make connections and have challenging conversations about social topics, current events, pop culture, and art. Together, let's weave the threads of understanding with what privilege we have in order to learn, educate, and create in a world that's growing. Hmm,
Wonderful.
thank you. You know, it's 2025,
I always
and
love the mission statement.
me too. Me too. The fact that it's 2025, like those words, I feel like have really withstood the test of time and they feel just as important now as they ever have. What do you feel when you hear them now?
I feel like a range of emotions every time I hear the mission statement because it evolves every time we hear it, or every time I hear it. Um, because when we first did it, it was because of George Floyd, and it was because of white privilege, and it was because we were trying to heal something from that protest. So 5 years later, we're still healing from that protest, and we're still trying to re-stitch that tapestry of
Mm.
those that privilege that we have from that, and we're that it's still expanding out from that first stream that we did. However, um, weaving that tapestry where we added so many things into the tapestry of things that we're working on and fixing and growing and shaping and doing as part of that tapestry. So I feel
Mm.
a range of emotions when I think that, because a lot of like shows that we've done and things that we've experienced, I really think about when, and then so then I think about this show which we're weaving in, because I literally think of it as like we're stitching a tapestry. I think
Mm.
about weaving it in and like how does that fit into what we've talked about already and what we're going to talk about moving forward.
Oh, no, I like that. And I very much think of it the same way too, because I don't know, I feel like 2025 so far, it's been a very taxing year. We're halfway through 2025 already. And it feels like, I don't know if you feel this way, but it feels like it's been a decade. Like January to June has felt like a decade to me.
After the inauguration, it felt like that first month was like a year long. Like the
Mhm.
first couple weeks, the first 100 days felt like a year long.
Yeah, yeah. And I feel like many of us with privilege, and I include myself in that, where I feel like many of us have had the luxury of kind of removing ourselves from the slew of things happening since January, right? And I feel like I have these moments where I'm like kind of tuned in and I'm like, oh no, like there's stuff happening. There was something the other day that happened that it completely went over my head because I think I spent 2 days of doing nothing but gardening. And then I realized I missed some crucial piece of information. I was just like, oh my God, like I absolutely do have this luxury privilege of being able to remove myself from something, you know?
It's just I have moments of just like existential dread, and if I tune in too closely, I know that it'll just wreck me. And it's like there's it you almost feel like a fallout. Like the more you pay attention, the worse it gets. But it's almost like being like set on fire. Like it's like you're paying attention, you have to pay attention enough to know whether or not like your livelihood is being threatened. But at the same time, you can't pay attention too much because you're going to burn up.
Yeah. No, I think that's fitting. And it's interesting because my therapist and I have been having this conversation a lot lately, which we'll be talking about mental health a bit later on in the episode as well. But my therapist is constantly reminding me, like, Donnie, do you always have to be like the activist or educator in every given moment? And I like, and of course, her goal is to get me to say, no, I shouldn't have to take on that responsibility all the time. And I think that we are those people, though, that like internalize like the realization that we have voices, but like we also have bandwidth we should be considering too. I think that's another reason why we kind of decided on ending full on seasons of the show, because I felt like one, we were a little bit worried entering 2025 about like the landscape and what it would look like us talking about these different topics, and the impact that it would have, like the taxing it would have on our bandwidth and everything like that. Um, so like I've been really working hard with my therapist to like, especially in everyday life outside of this, to be like, okay, I don't always have to be tuned into everything. I can withdraw a little bit and mentally recuperate, but not feel shame about that. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit more about the mental health thing in a little bit. Do we want to go into our current event snapshot? Since it's been so long, we do have kind of a long current event snapshot. Ari, take it
Oh my
away.
goodness. Can we start with the most recent thing?
Oh,
The Steve Miller thruple.
please give everybody an idea of this Steve Miller thruple situation.
So, okay, it came out that Steve Miller and his wife were in a thruple with Elon Musk. Happy Pride Month.
Oh,
And it came out that his wife decided that she was going to leave the Trump administration and leave him for Elon Musk. And Stephen Miller was very pissed off about this. So the New York Times was reporting that Stephen Miller was subtweeting Elon Musk because he was pissed off that he stole his wife.
oh, what a mess.
I'm not saying that they are trashy in the government, but that is some trash.
Ari, that is bad. Like, I want to know, why is anyone wanting to sleep with Elon Musk? Why are we sleeping with Elon Musk?
He is, I don't know, he's rich and powerful and people think that, people are attracted to that apparently.
It's
I would
exhausting.
touch it with a 20-foot pole. A man's got probably like a million STIs and he's a
Ari,
ketamine addict.
Ari, if Elon Musk were the last man on the planet and he were gay, let's pretend that like I was responsible for carrying on the human race in some dystopian future, and it literally hinged on
If you
me
want
to be
if
with
you
Elon
have
Musk.
MPreg fantasy,
Yeah, something to that effect. I would literally choose to, I don't know. I would choose anything but him. I would literally choose anything but him. And human race be damned.
if Elon Musk were the last man on the planet, I would take something to go to sleep forever.
Oh,
Me and the cats or me and nothing. If there were cats, I might survive because at least there would be cats.
P.S. everyone, we're just being hyperbolic and joking. We don't really. We, we're just imagining
This
alternative
is if we were
reality.
the last man on the planet.
Right. No, but that is wild. But speaking of Elon Musk, this isn't the only instance of his presence in our current event snapshot, because he's recently been, I mean, obviously since the beginning of the Trump administration, he's been just constantly out there doing everything as a part of Doge. And didn't
Trying
he
to be
just
the
step
president without being the president.
Exactly. Didn't he just step down from Doge too?
Did he step down from Doge? I don't know.
I could have swore I saw a news report of it, but I feel like we keep hearing these conflicting things where like one moment we hear like whispers of like, oh, he's stepping down, but then the next moment we see him being actively involved. So I'm just like, I don't know. So not only has that been an issue, but we would be remiss if we didn't mention the tariffs causing stock market insecurity. Um, that has been significant.
Didn't the Supreme Court say that those were unconstitutional and that they couldn't
I
implement the tariffs because
mhm.
it wasn't considered an emergency?
Yeah, I think I remember reading about that as well. I think it was specific tariffs though. It wasn't all the tariffs. Um, but there
Yeah.
were like specific tariffs where they were like, no, you cannot do that. And so like so as a result, since like what, February, the economy has been like up and down, causing absolute chaos because of like this looming threat of 100+% tariffs.
Yeah, gas prices go from like 330 something down to 299 for me.
The same here. No, it's
I'll
so
be like at the gas station and it'll be
yeah.
flooded, and then the next day it'd be like nobody at the gas station.
Yeah, exactly. No, so it's interesting. So many of you may remember it was like one of our final episodes last season where I think I mentioned during one of the current event snapshots that Trump posted some AI image on Truth Social with him standing on like a cliff, looking into the distance with some caption that said, "Oh, Canada could be the 51st state." Well, he's still not kind of, he's still really riding hard for Canada being the 51st state. He still mentions it periodically. Have you seen that?
Oh god, the AI stuff. I forgot about him posting AI art, and there was the AI stuff that he posted about Israel. Remember that?
Oh, and what he wants to do with the Gaza Strip. Yes. It's,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, I don't know. I feel like at this point with the administration, it's just all reality television, and we're just bearing witness to season 20 of the most ridiculous reality television show ever.
Well, that doesn't even get into like the deportations that they're doing
Mhm.
of people who are possibly citizens, and they just kind of, and they're talking about deporting criminals, like people in
Mhm.
jail, like in prisons.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, so there's been so much, but there's been that. There's also been like a lot of travel concerns regarding like aircrafts, plane crashes, random catastrophes happening with those. Um, I mean, and of course, we would be remiss if we didn't mention the fact that there's still ongoing humanitarian crises happening in Gaza, too. I was just looking and it said that I saw a news report where Ireland called out Israel for committing genocide, and over 300 writers in the UK and Ireland signed a letter calling for immediate aid and a ceasefire in Gaza because the death toll has risen to over 54,000. And simultaneously, there's also been a rise in anti Semitic attacks. There was recently one in Boulder, Colorado. So there is so much going on, and it is almost overwhelming. It is almost overwhelming.
It's only June. Only
It's
June.
fuck, Ari, it's only June. Oh my god. This does not feel like a brat summer, Ari.
Does not. I feel overwhelmed.
Yeah. And of course, and we could like I think one of the final things on our current event Snapchat is there's been a lot of tornadoes. You and I literally have recently been through tornadoes in Michigan.
I know. I know. I had to duck and cover in my bathroom I was like, oh, there's climate change right there.
I can just imagine you with Verity in the bathtub, just sitting there. Oh, climate change.
Yeah, I was literally in the bathtub on the phone shaking with my mom on the phone, and
Oh.
she was like, "Honey, are you okay?" And I was like, "No, I'm on the 3rd floor of my building. I do not want to die today."
It's Mom, it's not preferable right now. Just saying.
And I don't hear any
No.
rain or anything. All I hear is just
Oh, it was scary. So, I remember it was like 10 p.m. and Britt was getting ready to go to bed, and he looked at me and he's like, "I know you're obsessed with the weather. Do not wake me up during a tornado warning unless the tornado is in our house." And I'm like, "Okay." So so we ended up getting a tornado, and I just remember this surreal moment where like I'm just sitting in our house. It's like you know that like really sticky stillness that happens before a tornado, and then the siren started going off. It was
yeah.
like really really creepy. And my non-intelligent ass decided to go outside to see. I went outside.
You're one of those people.
I went outside and my wife beat her in Crocs, and I was like, "Not today, tornado."
Did you have your video camera out? You're like,
I did.
"I
I
gotta take a video of it."
I did take a video of like the creepy sirens and like the stillness, but then I was like, I better go in because there's lightning. Because we had so much lightning. It was really bad. But my friends, do not take inspiration from me doing that because it was not a wise course of action. I should have been
Do as
hunkering
I say,
down.
not as I do.
Exactly. But anyway, so
I
I
love
don't
your
think I've
cup, by the way. Your water jug.
thank you. It's very brat summer.
Your
I'm
nice
trying to
Stanley. Is it a Stanley or is it a Stanley dupe?
It's a Stanley dupe from Wildfire Credit Union. This is not a paid promotion, everyone. Um,
It's very Godzilla coated.
it is. It's like Godzilla coated and Brat Summer coated. I love it very much. Love it very
Yes.
much. Is there any? I don't.
Yes.
I think we covered everything on the current event snapshot for the most part. Um. So yeah, it took a little bit of research because again, there have been moments where I've been tuned out, admittedly. So it was very alarming to tune back in and see the absolute chaos that's happening. So um, well,
Everything's on fire.
everything is on fire.
Everything's on fire literally immediately.
It's interesting that we mentioned that. I remember when we ended the show, I remember seeing a couple of comments of people being like, "Oh my god, you guys are ending the show now of all times, like when all hell is breaking breaking loose." I didn't consider the fact that our show was a comfort
Yes.
to some. So that's kind of a compliment. Um, but we're back for this episode. We're here. We're here and we're reflecting on things. Um, Ari, I guess if we pan out, where do we stand right now in our lives when it comes to like the politics of our nation and our general vibes of where we feel we're headed into what's happening with the world right now?
Well, after the first 100 days, I think that a lot of like battlegrounds were drawn. And so a lot of legal battles were drawn. And so I think that Trump is just going to court now to see what will stick. But we're in battle lines, like the lawyers, the Supreme Court, everybody's seeing what will stick.
Yeah.
And I think that it's going to last until the midterm election.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
I kinda
then
get the I feel the
a
same
lot
way.
of people are a lot of people are really mad right now about the Trump administration. Like his popularity is only going to go down. Like he has a lot of Republicans who are liking what he's doing, but he has a lot of he's one of the least popular presidents in history right now.
Yeah. No, I think you make a good point.
Starting out even.
Yeah, you make a good point about the testing of boundaries because we've seen that. I mean, especially with the absolute slew of executive orders we got at the beginning, um, many of which were challenged in court. And I'm grateful that we do have some like judicial systems in place that are kind of like standing up to this type of thing. Um, I know with a lot of like LGBTQ plus bills that happen, I like I'm a part of PFLAG, right? I know PFLAG literally sued the Trump administration over some anti-LGBTQ plus bills. There are the ACLU has been various levels of court have been pushing back. And I agree with you. I think the midterms will be like our best bet for um pushing for creating partitions to kind of like block those types of things. I'm not gonna lie, like I have moments where like I feel like I'm too optimistic, but then I have moments where I'm like really scared and worried, you know? And those have been the moments where I've had to like really tap into like therapy to be like, okay, reality check, Donnie. Like, what are you doing to mitigate like your exposure when you are in this mental space, right?
It's just a lot of people got screwed by his policies right off the bat, like right away. And it was sort of like, did you not expect him to do what he said he was going to do?
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that's what it really is, though. Like it's like the Stockholm syndrome thing where like his supporters will just follow him no matter what. Like even if it impacts them, because these tariffs and these impacts to the economy, especially grocery prices, which have gotten worse, mind you, literally impact his supporters the most, right?
It's true.
Yeah.
Well, and they want to get rid they said that um who was it? Was it RFK Jr. said that healthcare was it Trump that said it or was it RFK Jr. that said healthcare is an addiction?
Oh, yeah, I think it was RFK Jr. that said that.
And I was
Oof.
like, how could it that really bothered me because it's like how can something that's necessary to because I just read I Who Have Never Known Men and the main character dies of a medical problem on this foreign planet and basically she said that we need medical science. Like
Mhm.
medical science is what keeps us sustained. Like we only will live so long without medical science.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, case in point, uh, Florida has had a lot of issues with like breakouts of like measles and other conditions as well because of the absolute dystopian stances that state administration, Ron DeSantis, um, has imposed on like the entire state. Have you seen the reports on that?
No. No,
Yeah.
I just don't I just I again, it's like if I pay too much attention, it's like I'm going to burn myself and if I pay too little attention, it's like I pay just enough attention to see what I
Hmm.
need to see and then
Yeah.
I see what I need to see from Blue Sky and I try not to I read the
Blue sky.
newspaper. I but I read the Detroit Free Press, and that gives me a vague overview of what I need to know, but I try not to read too deep into everything, like everything.
I,
But
no, I
it's
feel
too
that.
much. It's too much.
It is. I don't watch news stations anymore, like NBC or not NBC, but like CNN or MSNBC. I don't watch those news stations anymore. I don't. Like I had to
I
scale
do watch
back.
MSNBC at the gym.
I sometimes
I pay
will.
attention to the stock market.
Right. I did. Okay. So when the whole stock market stuff was happening, I do pay attention to that. And I do watch Rachel Maddow sometimes. But like beyond that, I don't really tune into it much, mostly for the sake of my own well being. Um, honestly, the fact
I
that
pay attention to Tesla stocks because Tesla stock was tanking for a while, and it's definitely recovered, but not recovered back to pre-election or election numbers.
mm-hmm, I've seen that too. I will admit, so like, despite how heavy things have been, I don't know, I kind of felt like a little rush of like optimism when Pride Month happened starting yesterday. Like, so happy Pride Month, everybody. Happy Pride Month, Ari.
Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month.
Happy Pride. In what ways are you going to strive to be fabulous and or celebrate Pride this month?
I strive to be fabulous every day, not just Pride Month.
That is the only answer. Oh
But
my
do you see my
goodness.
I have the rainbow microphone out?
You do. I have my rainbow light strip cycling through. And make way for the gay. I don't know why I'm holding my boobs.
Wait for the gay. I don't have any gay paraphernalia. I should have some bi gear paraphernalia. I have a bi flag on my fridge. I Hang on, let me go get it. I'll be right
Go get
back.
your bi
Let me
flag.
go get my bi
No, so
flag
while you're getting your bi flag,
or my non-binary.
I probably have too
Oh, do I
much.
have it anymore? I don't have it anymore. I
Oh
took it down.
no. You took it down. I have so much gay paraphernalia. I mean, you all have seen me with that parasol, right? I'm just kind of surprised I don't have that out right now. But um no, I'm kind of excited about Pride
I took
Month.
down my flag. I don't have my flag anymore.
Ari, why would you take down your
No flag.
flag?
No love, no flag. I'm flagless.
No, not being flagless. No. Oh, there's so many ways to celebrate though. So Ari, how are you still living your fabulous gay life despite the environment that's hostile towards our existence?
So I mentioned this before in the back room, but like right now, like the beginning of Pride, I was keeping up with the news about like what was happening in the gay community. And so King of the Hill is coming back. Like they just started new episodes of the season.
Mhm.
And the guy who plays John Redcorn, he was shot and killed this week. Like just today.
Mm. Yeah.
And
Wow.
so I didn't know he was gay, but he lives in Texas, and he was going to his old house that had been burned down because he had several death threats. And so it was they killed his dog, and they put the skull of the dog on the burned area. And so he saw the skull, and he was fighting with his neighbor about it, and his neighbor shot and killed him.
Wow.
And like it's just like super intense like that, like that's the kind of world we live in. And like my sister wants me to move to Texas right now, like at the end of my lease, and it's like I'm just kind of scared because like if you're any sort of liberal, like the possibility of being shot is high.
Texas is scary. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I mean, regardless where you are, I know you're gonna flourish. I mean, so long as you have a support network, right? But like Texas is kind of scary to me. Like Texas and Florida, Oklahoma, like those states, ooh, ooh. At least in Michigan we got Gretch.
For now.
Yeah. That right, right. No, so I get that fear and uncertainty. Um I've been like kind of cautious about Pride. We plan on going to some Pride stuff, but like I feel like since 2025 started, I've been being more mindful. Like this whole looking over my shoulder thing all the time, like wherever we're out. I know like we went out to I think we went out to dinner one night and I noticed like these like dudes staring at Britt and I got really up in my head about it. I was just like, we need to get our check and go. Like I was like, we need to rally. Cause like
Really?
I just yeah, like I don't know if it's me just like reading into things too much. It could be, but like I feel like I've been much more tuned into the way people are looking at us when we're out in public. But again, I feel like that's kind of been like this internalized thing that I've always had too, growing up in northern rural Michigan, right?
Yeah, that
So,
they have to be careful and be cautious
hmm yeah. Well,
because you just
despite
don't know what people are going to do.
yeah, yeah. I mean, despite our anxieties, like, are we doing anything right now to kind of like reconcile living our fabulous gay lives versus balancing it with this existential dread we've been feeling?
Well, the biggest thing that I've been having is trouble sleeping because
Hmm
I'm always afraid that something is going to happen when I'm asleep.
Yeah.
So it's like going down for bed is like really hard.
hmm
So I listen to ASMR now. I've been listening to JoJo's ASMR as the way of like relaxing at night. So like I'll put my headphones on and like I can relax that way. But I used to not have to do that to have that like that I would have that existential dread.
hmm
That like somebody's gonna like bust in the door or that I'm gonna get a knock at the door or something is gonna happen while I'm sleeping.
hmm
So I just put my headphones in and hope for the best. I will double check the locks at
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Um, and I used to not do that as much. I used to always check the locks, but this is like I get really nervous at night. Like I always make sure all the lights are off and yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like I get this like shiver that runs up me at night, like that something is going to happen to me at night. And
Mhm.
so I'm afraid that you know, or that like when I'm alone and I haven't talked to anybody for a couple days, like I have to make sure to call somebody tell them, like I'm not dead yet.
Oh my god. I mean, if I didn't talk to you for a couple of days, I would be bugging the hell out of you. I'd be like, Ari, hey, where you at, Ari?
But I go like maybe like a day or two without maybe like a day without talking to anybody. And like I'm like, I hope that people know I'm not dead.
I mean, that is appreciated to know that you're good. No, so yeah, it's it's funny that you mentioned that because recently my parents because apparently I went like a week without talking to my parents, and they called me and they're like, "Are you all right?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm just
Just
gardening,
busy.
bitch." No, one way I've been reconciling these two things is I've been doing a lot of gardening, as you know, one would expect. Um, I've been doing a lot. Have you? I know you've seen me do some of those gardening streams. I've had so much fun doing those.
I love them. Every time I see them, I watch them toe to toe because they are so amazing. You are fabulous when it comes to gardening. You inspired me to start gardening. I love it. You are an inspiration.
Oh my god! Oh my god! And everybody, Ari's gardening journey has been wonderful to follow. Do you want to talk about it?
No.
No,
You talk about
our
your gardening. Your gardening's so much better.
people know my. You're getting full on servings of veggies and stuff. I've not gotten that yet.
Well, I just do these little hydroponic things. They're not anything that interesting. I have some I the only thing that I've harvested so far is basil and lettuce like several times. And I've been eating the oregano off my cuz I think it's mint. So I keep eating it like it's mint. And I keep eating my spearmint. Like I'll just pick a piece off and I'll eat a piece of spearmint.
I have like no, I do that too. I have
I'm like, "Ooh,
no
this looks good."
hydroponics.
And I'm just like, chew on it.
Hydroponics is interesting. I think it's a valid way of gardening, and I'm so happy that you've optimized your space for it.
Well, just because I don't have any, I don't have good lighting for outside gardening because I have northern facing windows, so the
Hmm.
the lighting is just god awful. So I figure if you're gonna do gardening, might as well do hydroponics, and I can do it in the inside, and I can just have it. I can get that light therapy from it.
Hmm. Yeah. So like, it provides a double benefit, right? No, I've been obsessed with your
It
gardening
does, yeah.
journey. I'm not gonna lie. Also, one thing that's been helping me get through things lately has been your videos. So for those of you who are not aware, Ari has a Patreon, and I am subscribed to Ari's Patreon, so I get early exclusive access to content, which I'm obsessed with. So I've been like
Some content I
watching
don't
like
even release onto the normal page. Like, I just leave it on the Patreon for, like, the Patreon subscribers.
I love it. I feel so exclusive. No, so like it's been great. Like I've been enjoying watching like your haul videos. Like you've been doing cooking videos. I've been obsessed with your cooking videos. Like I get so hungry watching your cooking videos. I'm just like that looks so good. Like I feel like
Oh, you're so
I feel
kind.
I feel like your videos are kind of like this ASMR like in the kitchen kind of a thing.
I do a lot of ASMR actually, like, my water videos are ASMR and my cooking videos are ASMR, and if I did sleeping videos, those would be ASMR too, but I don't do those anymore.
Which is good because you are getting some really creepy people like
I
engaging
was
with
getting
that
so many
content.
creepy people on the sleeping videos.
Yeah. Well, so here is an important question because I think now that we're like nearing ish the end of the episode, like I mean I don't know if we are necessarily the go-to examples for advice or for anything like that with how we're handling 2025, but I wanted to ask like in these uncertain times, how do you make sure to keep your mental health in check? We've already talked about a few methods. Um, gardening for me. Um, what like how are you keeping your well, you said ASMR is one of yours. Like how are you keeping
Yeah,
yourself
I
grounded
also
amid
do
all of
DB
this?
I'm doing DBT diary cards as per my therapist. I just started doing that. Um, so that keeps track of like my daily ups and downs. So you because you said you did DBT diary cards too, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, I've done that before. No, I've done it before and it's been super helpful, like, for me. Like, I don't do them all the time anymore, but, like, it did kind of get me into doing more journaling a little bit. More like kind of relaxed journaling as opposed to, like, long journaling, if that makes sense.
So, like, you would journal because the way that I do them, it has, like, a list of things, and then I put numbers in, and then it asks me to put, like, what skills I used as far as, like, how I used my judgment during the last day. So, I suppose I can see that it would be, like, kind of a relaxing way of journaling because there's sort of like a rhythm to it, you know what I mean? Like, it's sort of like it takes away a sort of expectation of or it takes away like uncertainty from the diary, like, or journaling, because you know what to expect every day. Like, I'm going to sit down and it's going to go this way and it's going to go this way, and I don't have to think a whole lot about how this journaling is going to go. um it gets real tedious for me because every day it's sort of like, well, I did please, and I did improve the moment, and I did wise mind, and I did, which are DBT skills, which please is like taking care of physical ills and eating and exercising and socializing and all those sorts of things. And improve the moment is like when you're feeling bad, taking a moment to figure out what you need and improving that moment from the last moment to the next moment. And so it's taking what you can do to move into the next moment. And then wise mind is balancing your emotions from like using your rational mind and your emotional mind and becoming a balanced mix of the whole, and using those skills as a way of becoming a whole person. And there's a lot of skills like that that you can use, but those are like the three biggest ones that I use like every day. And so it's sort of like I used wise mind, I used improve the moment, I used please, and it's like I use those skills over and over again, and they make it so that you automatically use those skills. You learn to use them automatically, and that it makes it so that life gets kind of boring necessarily, but you kind of want boring because it's sort of like things become routine. It's a routine that you're going through, and that you don't want chaos, because chaos is bad.
Mhm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, that's very insightful. Like,
So
it
I've been
it
living
sound
my life.
it sounds like it kind of, like, breaks it down incrementally and kind of coaxes you to slow down a little bit. Because whenever I don't know about you, but whenever I'm going through, like, a mental health crisis, like you were mentioning, like, that chaos energy kind of makes me wanna move through it faster and faster and faster, and that isn't always, like, the best, at least for me, decision to make, because then it kind
Hmm.
of gets cumulative,
Yeah.
and then it gets frustrating for me. But no, I think that's great advice to kind of like tap into those tools, right? To kind of at least navigate, like
Hmm.
grant yourself the grace of navigating through every single moment. Whether you might think of it as a fleeting thing, like navigating through the moment just to get to the next is what matters most.
Yeah. But there are several skills to like navigating conflict, like dear man, which is, and like stop, which is like stop what you're doing and like observe your emotions and like think about how you want to react in that moment, and like proceed with how you want to react. Like think about like how it's like observe how this is relational to like what what you want to accomplish, like
Mhm.
from like what you want to take from this interaction, and proceed with how you want to go about this interaction? Well, because it's like when when you have that interaction with somebody, it's like sometimes when you get into conflict, it can get really tense. And so if you think about like how you want to interact with that person, it just makes it so that you are able to, think about where you want to go with that interaction.
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't
Again, it kind of
know.
it slows it down a little bit, right? Because again, when your adrenaline is going, if there's like conflict, like there's like this fight or flight instinct, and I
Mhm.
think that allows you to pan out to be like, "Hey, there's a third option actually beyond fight or flight, and that is self-examination."
Yeah.
Hmm,
Most of the
I
stuff
like
for
that.
DBT, which Marsha, whatever her name is, Lindemann, I think her name is, who created she did it for people. It's not necessarily created for people with like bipolar disorder that I have. It was created for people with borderline personality disorder who have a hard time with conflict resolution and who have a hard time socializing. So it's not created necessarily with my mental illness in mind. It's created with people with uh, a very specific mental illness in mind, which was borderline personality disorder.
Mhm. Interesting. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
Hmm.
But it sounds like it can benefit everyone in a way as long as it's applied. So,
Yeah.
yeah, there's an option. Um, here is one interesting thing we can reflect on before we wrap up here in a few minutes. Um, what are you grateful for right now?
I am grateful for you. I
Oh,
am grateful for my cat. I am grateful for being alive. I'm grateful for good food. I'm grateful for my personal trainer and my family. And I'm grateful for going back to school. I'm going to finish my degree. I took a break because I dropped my class and then I picked it up again. I'm picking it up in June 9th. What are you grateful
nice.
for?
Congratulations. Well, first of all, foremost, those are great, by the way. I am grateful for you. Absolutely grateful for you. Um, I am grateful for Britt. I am grateful for my family and all of my friends. I'm grateful for my work. Um, I'm grateful for carving time for myself right now. Um, Time to enrich myself, time to slow down. Last night, for example, I literally went outside in our backyard and I laid in a hammock for an hour and I fell asleep in a hammock. I've not done something like that since I was a kid, and it felt great.
Nice.
Um, I am grateful that I am trying to be more conscious of my health. That's something I've been doing since January. I'm grateful. I've lost about, on a good day, 12 to 15 pounds since January. And I'm trying to, like, obviously, I'm trying to get into shape for our wedding. I'm grateful that that is on the horizon. Um, what else am I grateful for? I'm grateful for plants. That's another thing I'm grateful for.
Me too.
You know, it's
Plants
so
are
funny,
good.
Ari. Speaking of health, we were talking about this in the back room, and I almost forgot to bring it up. So I found one of my friends that I had on Twitter on Blue Sky, and he refers to himself as the Godzilla Twink. And he made a comment to me. He was just like, "Great twinks think alike," or something to me, like "It's great to see you, fellow twink." And I literally was like, "Do I look like a twink again?" And then I looked in the mirror and I'm like, "I like the twink era has died, and I should accept that it has died because I am in my mid to late 30s." I just thought it was so funny. I was just like, "I'm not a twink." I am the third stage Pokemon at this
You're too
point.
math.
I'm too
You're too
masked.
masculine for that. But
Mask for mask.
you have a beard, baby.
You know.
But
And
in my heart, you'll always be a twink to me.
oh, that's because when you met me, I was like that. I was the little gothy twink when you met me.
It's true.
But I was so bitchy too. Remember how bitchy I was?
Oh, that's okay. You were fun. You were fun.
You deserve a Purple Heart for dealing with my bitchiness in college.
I was bitchy too. It's okay.
That's why we get along so well. That is
We were
what
bitchy together.
that is what has transformed into this wonderful dynamic that we have. Um,
Come on, if
well,
we were, we're fun. We're fun.
we're a damn good time, and I know all y'all missed it. I know you all missed it.
Come on, I like a good
Oh,
drama just like you do. Don't lie.
sorry, me off. Do we want to wrap up with a poem? Do you have a poem you want to read?
Oh, do I have a poem?
Do you have a poem?
Oh, I've got one. It's from my book. You want to hear
Which
it?
book? Which book?
It's from my manuscript for the new Dark Water Affair.
Oh, so it's a sneak peek. Absolutely, I want to hear it.
It's called Night Sounds. There is a night that traverses the top of the head to the ceiling, into the corners of the room, expanding outward like a giant that won't fit into the small confines of space that have housed for 18 years or more, and then bursting out into the world, freedom free into the wild, wet world, jet setting into the big blue, big, beautiful, starry eyed, two blue eyes, large and open and see. Will they understand?
Oh my, Ari. Wow. That has just made me asininely excited for. I mean, I was already excited about your new book, but that made me really excited. That sounds so good. I hope you realize how much your work has grown.
It's a work. It's a work in progress. I'm working on
You're
it.
so modest. I'll brag you up, Ari, until the end of time, you know. Um,
Hmm.
I actually just have a haiku to read. Actually, a couple of haikus, since they're
Ooh.
short. So I've been writing haikus for since I've been selling these little carbon footprint bookmarks, and anybody who buys one, I've been writing them a little haiku to go with it. So this is here's a couple of them. Let's see. The books we carry are torches casting lamplight against the shadows. That's one.
Ooh.
I was thinking about book bands when I wrote that. And then the other one
Casting
is,
casting light against the shadows.
yeah. Um, the other one is, yes, they cast their die, but we are a stand of trees refusing to fall.
Wow. We are a cast of trees fusing to
Mm,
fall. That sounds like the persistence of nature over capitalism, but also the persistence of like marginalized communities over the over hate groups.
yeah, yeah. That's what I was thinking about for that. Ari, it has felt good to reconvene and do this. I've missed you.
I miss you too. I'm glad my Wi-Fi held out.
I'm glad it did too. It always manages to hold out, right? No, so I mean, I don't know when we'll be back, everyone. But we will do reunions every now and then to catch up. Um, and I hope that you enjoyed our conversation today. And any final words, Ari?
Skirt.
Perfect. Everyone, we love you. Have a good rest of your night, and we will see each other again soon. Bye.